topic that's heating up across the country. I've been seeing it everywhere. It's about self-deportation. What is it? Why is it happening? And is it really inhumane? Or is it just common sense when it comes to enforcing our immigration laws? But before we get into that and what it actually means, I want to show you a clip of a Border Patrol agent making arrests outside of a local Home Depot. They had received a report that illegal aliens was hanging out there, and one of the agents actually got into a tussle with with an alleged citizens. Let's
and a look at the video there through the windshield. Driving that point home from the comment you heard about a sanctuary city. Fox was there exclusively as it all went down, and Bill Malusian joins us now live in Sacramento. What you see, Bill? What you hear? Hello to you.
Hey, Bill, good morning to you as well. With illegal crossings at the southern border at the lowest levels in recorded history, that has freed up Border Patrol resources to come and help ICE with interior immigration enforcement. And we joined a Border Patrol California strike team as they came right here to Sacramento and carried out an operation. We'll get right into that video. Take a look at this. As soon as we pulled up to a local Home Depot out here, suspected illegal immigrants started taking off running in all directions pretty much as soon as they saw those federal agents pull up. That immediately led to several foot pursuits with agents chasing these men down. Border Patrol tells us they ended up arresting 11 illegal aliens at this one Home Depot parking lot. Several of them had criminal histories and prior deportations. More on that in a moment, but we want to show you this. Take a look at this. They also chased down and arrested this U.S. citizen, the guy in the black hat, after agents say he slashed the tire on one of their vehicles. You'll see them pursue him. He goes to the ground, entangles with agents on the ground, then appears to lunge at one of those agents. Well, that ended up causing him to get maced in the face. Take a look at the aftermath of this. I snapped this photo as I came across the scene here. You see him with mace in his face.
Now, moments like this are becoming more common as immigration enforcement ramp up, but they don't have to happen like that at all. So in this video, we're going to talk about the options undocumented immigrants actually have, right? So to avoid situations like this, and how programs like Project Homecoming is the best choice. Because the truth is, there are choices, and when those choices are ignored, the consequences affect everyone. So earlier this year, the U.S. launched a new incentive called Project Homecoming. It's part of a broader shift toward encouraging illegal immigrants to leave the country voluntarily, and you get assistance for doing it. The program is accessed through an app called CBP Home, and that's short for Customs and Border Protection. Through the app, illegal immigrants can submit an intent to deport, and in return, they're offered like a government flight and $1,000 stipend to return to their country, their home country. Okay, why? Because deportations are expensive. On average, the cost is like $17,000 per person. This voluntary option slashes those costs for about I think it's 70%. Okay, and under the current administration, enforcement is becoming more strict. Illegal individuals with final orders can now face steep fines up to $998 per day, applied retroactively up to 5 years. Some are also facing revocation of their Social Security, and their assets are again seized. This isn't just about policies anymore, it's about accountability. And the truth is, many illegal immigrants have been in the U.S. for years, even decades, and have had ample of time to go through the legal process to become citizens or lawful residents. But instead of doing the right thing, they're choosing to ignore the law, stay here illegally, and continue to break the system. Now the consequences, and when like the law enforcement is finally taking it seriously, their families are being put in like a heartbreaking positions of detentions or forced removal. Speaking of heartbreaking positions, here's a frustrating example of exactly that. So let's take a look at this clip of a Mexican woman who willingly put her children into heartbreaking, stressful, dangerous, and unlawful position. And what's even worse is how she went on camera claiming that ICE kidnapped her, which is completely false.
Hey, John, good afternoon. The Department of Homeland Security says Julie Calderon made this whole story up, that it was a hoax, that she blamed federal agents while stoking fear in the community.
Free Julie now!
Back on June 30th, family and friends of Julie Calderon claimed she was kidnapped in this Jack in the Box parking lot off Alameda in South LA by federal agents or people working with them.
Ununiformed men in unmarked cars kidnapped Julie.
But the U.S. Attorney's Office says that was a lie. In its criminal complaint, they say these are photos of Calderon, a citizen of Mexico, on June 25th, parking her Toyota in the fast food parking lot, getting out and then walking across the street to get into another vehicle at this gas station and later driving away. Days went by and the family set up a GoFundMe to help find her, and they also filed a missing persons case with LAPD.
She was taken straight from here to the border and pressured to sign self-deportation paperwork.
Calderon claims she used another person's cell phone to say she was taken to a warehouse at an unknown location. But federal investigators say that was also a lie. And when we asked LAPD, all they would tell us is that they had closed the missing persons investigation. Federal investigators say Calderon was never in federal custody. And on July 4th, they located her with this woman at a parking lot in Bakersfield. Investigators say she stuck to her story. She'd been kidnapped. And these are photos investigators say Calderon created to make it appear as if she was in custody and being mistreated. But the U.S. Attorney's Office says she orchestrated the phony kidnapping to generate public sympathy and solicit donations. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office released this statement saying dangerous rhetoric that ICE agents are kidnapping illegal immigrants is being recklessly peddled by politicians and echoed in the media to inflame the public and discredit our courageous federal agents. He went on to say, in terms of this case, all those involved will face the full consequences of their conduct under federal law. Now, Calderon has lived in L.A. for more than 20 years. She's charged with conspiracy and making false statements to federal agents. So far, no one else has been charged in this case, but the U.S. Attorney's Office.
That narrative she pushed was a total hoax, meant to grab attention and manipulate public sympathy. Meanwhile, there are thousands of immigrant children still missing across after trying to cross the border. And we don't even talk about the American children who go missing every single day right here in our country. Amber Alerts is constantly buzzing. What we're seeing is a selfish, self-centered act driven by toxic emotions to avoid responsibility. These parents aren't thinking about their own children, let alone thinking about ours. They're definitely not thinking about the communities they're affecting. They're not thinking about the country they're choosing to violate. And sadly, it's the kids who suffer the most. Now, Regina Igore, an illegal woman who lived in the U.S. for 36 years, in June of 2025, she made the decision to return to Mexico. She didn't apply for the program, but left voluntarily due to increasing ICE raids, and she feared for her family's safety. Stories like Regina shows that self-deportation is an option. They can do it willingly and take their families with them and not put them in those positions. Now, some critics are calling this inhumane, but let me ask you this. Is it really inhumane to enforce your country's laws? Because last I checked, every other country does it. Okay, Japan, Israel, Australia, Switzerland, Mexico. These countries have strict immigration laws. They don't allow illegal entry. They don't reward breaking the law. And they don't let undocumented people stay indefinitely and access government resources meant for their own citizens. They're not doing that. In fact, in Mexico, entering illegally is a criminal offense, punishable by jail. That's in Mexico. In Canada, they can't even get in without meeting strict eligibility. In Saudi Arabia, you're deported immediately, no appeal. They prioritize their own people first, and nobody is calling them cruel. So why is it controversial when America finally says enough is enough? We're protecting our borders, our people, and our future. They express no compassion for Black American families, no compassion for white American families or legal Americans that are here. So let's be honest here. When Americans break the law, there are consequences. It's so stupid and ridiculous that it's even an argument. And by the way, we don't get to pick and choose which law we follow. So why are illegal immigrants given a free pass? They're not the only ones affected here. Let that be known. Their choices hurt our communities, our schools, our hospitals, jobs, social services, and all are being stretched thin. And the burden falls hardest on working class Americans, especially Black Americans and other citizens who already face enough challenges. What about our families? What about our children? You can miss me with all the foolishness. The gaslighting is unreal. And it's time we stop ignoring the damage and start standing up for people who follow the law, who actually pay taxes and play by the rules. There's nothing inhumane about protecting your country. There's nothing cruel about saying, if you want to live in America, do it legally. Either deportation or self-deportation isn't cruelty, it's accountability, and it's time you get introduced to it. And while it's not easy, it's very much necessary. For years, we've allowed illegal immigrants to go unchecked, and now we're seeing the consequences of that. But that doesn't mean we can't fix it. It starts with having the courage to say, no more, you're done. Donald Trump and his administration have proven to be one of the ones who have the courage to do it. I believe his strength comes from the Lord. With the attacks that man has had on him and his family, only God can help you get through that and look untouched. So, what do you guys think? Is self-deportation a fair and reasonable solution? Or should we be doing more to enforce immigration law? Well, you guys know where I stand. I'll meet you in the comments. I hope you like this video and consider subscribing. Hit the bell for more honest and informative content. I'll see you guys in my next video.